All right, I want to show you a couple of different ways that you can prep your artist trading cards. You need your artist trading cards to be 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and there's many different ways to get there. Let me show you a couple of the ways. Okay, let's prep some artist trading cards. We can use all of this stuff, but we're not going to use it all at once. Let's get started first by using a ruler to measure out our piece of paper. Now an artist trading card is 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to take my ruler and measure the long way first, the 3.5 inches. I put my ruler right on the edge of my paper and measure 3.5, and I make a little tick mark. Now I actually have enough on this piece of paper that I could make 2. Then I need to measure the 2.5. So I'm going to put my ruler down on the edge of my paper, bring it across, 1, 2.5, make my tick mark. Now you're going to want to do this in 2 areas. Lining it up, 1, 2. The reason we do that is so that we can take the ruler, set it down on each tick mark, and make our line across. And I can also flip this, and I suppose I would want to do a second measurement here too, lining it up, 3.5, 7, that equals 2 3.5s, and I can go ahead, make my lines across here. So one way to make these artist trading cards, or to create these artist trading cards, is using your scissors to cut. So staying on your lines, making sure that you're using your best cutting skills so you have a nice straight line. You can also use a paper cutter for this, but this works if you just don't have that around. So now I have 2 artist trading cards ready to go. Let me measure again. Actually, we're going to use a different tool this time. This one has the measurements already on there. It's a little hard to read on this particular one, but just to show you that you can measure this way, I'm actually going to go the other direction so that my hands are working. So I'm going to go 2 inches, 1, 2.5, and that's where I line up my piece of paper. I know it's a little difficult to see on this white on white, but this is what I'm trying to show you right here, is ripping. So if I have a nice big solid plastic line like this, I can take and rip my piece of paper like so. So now I have the first step, and I'm going in for the 3.5. So 1, 2, 3, and there's my half. Holding this down really nice and tight and ripping. There we go. We have now another artist trading card all ready to go. Another way to make your artist trading card is use a tracer. Now this tracer has already been measured to the perfect dimensions, and I'm using a card for this. I like cards because you're often going to find one whole side that has very little to anything on it, and it's kind of neat to have a little treat on the back, a little bit of information on the back of the card as well. So, oh, there it is. Here's an example. So the artist trading card that I have here, I could make my design right here, and it has this little nest, and I could write my information right above it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a little fussy here. I want to try to get that cat. If I got the bird, it would also get some of the words, so I'm going to get part of this cat. I also want to make sure that there is some space for me to write my information, my artist trading card information, so I'm going to leave some of the white space around it. Take my pencil and trace around it. Now I'm holding very tightly with my hand here as I go around, and then I can go in and cut that out to make yet another artist trading card. If you are using other materials such as metal tooling or fabric, you might have to address this a little bit differently. So what I did here was I took a cardboard piece and I cut it just a smidge under 2.5 by 3.5. Because what you have to do when you're making your metal tooling is you have to be able to wrap that around the back. So you want to cut your metal then quite a bit bigger, about a 1/2 inch all the way around, than your card, so that you can wrap that around. Same with fabric. This piece of fabric, I designed it so that there's a little pocket. I'm going to create a pocket on the back where I can put my information right in there. So if we open that up, my artist trading card size is actually on this fusible batting. That's the size. And my fabric is much larger than that. I'm going to sew right into this, and then I can fold, fold, fold with my iron and make sure that it ends up artist trading card size. The last way that you can prep artist trading card is by purchasing your artist trading cards. You actually don't have to do all that cutting and measuring. You can purchase them through, I know that Blick Art carries some artist trading cards. If you just type in artist trading cards online, you'll find many suppliers as well.